everyone. It's Kristen here, and I'm so glad you're joining us. I'm here with my really dear friend, Kelsey Burke, and we have been talking all month about connection with God, connection with each other. And it's been a really weird season to try and connect. I mean, do you find that to be true, Kelsey?
Oh, so hard.
Yeah,
Yes.
so hard. I mean, if you are trying to connect with anyone right now, like it's COVID. Like normally I love introducing like my friends, over coffee or just when we're at a mutual, like at the pickup line at the school, and none of that's possible right now. And so I'm really glad to be able to share my friend here with you on Zoom. So I'm going to start by just letting Kelsey tell us a little bit about herself, like who she is and what she's up to and all that stuff.
Well, I'm Kelsey Burke, and I am an artist and a writer and a speaker. And most people know me because I drive a huge green 12 passenger van to fill all of my children's. Well, like they don't fill my children, but to put my children in. 6 kids, 5 of whom are still at home. And so that's how most people know me, is through my relationships with them.
That's awesome. I love that green van. It's very fun.
We call it the Hulk. Actually, this is the Hulk 2.0. It's our second green van.
Oh, that I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, Kelsey, tell us a little bit more about the art side of you. How would you maybe describe like what does it mean like for you? You're an artist. What does that mean for you? What do you do?
It took me a long time to be able to say the sentence, I am an artist. I've always been artsy. I've always liked to draw and paint and create, but I never really had any formal training. It's always just been a hobby, something that I did in the margins of my life, in the early morning hours, or when children were napping, or if I had a few moments here and there, I would try to create. But in the last, I guess, 5 years, the doors have just really flung wide open for me to create as a professional and to paint with chalk pastels. See if I have one nearby. I always do. Little squares of pure pigment, and I paint primarily landscapes. But I also teach art at an elementary school, and I host online paint parties, and I teach in people's backyards. So for me to be an artist, I get to express it in a lot of different venues and in a lot of different ways.
That is so cool. And I can totally attest. I remember when this was like unfolding and the conversation we were having at the park about how this was coming about and your great friends who like said, do an art show in our backyard. Like that was just such a beautiful process to be a part of. And I have some Kelsey Burke originals. I'm very proud of those. They're so fun to have in my house, and they're so brightly colored. And I just wondered if you could tell my other friends about like what is with all those super bright colors, and how do you connect with God in your art through all of that?
Sure. So I always say that I paint with the colors beyond the colors, because I really believe that what we see in creation right now is just a glimpse of what the world is going to look like when it's restored. And so when I am painting, I paint with hope. And so I pick colors that maybe are more brilliant, more vibrant, maybe surprising a little bit, to draw the reader, or not the reader, to draw the viewer in, so that they ask questions. Why such bright colors? Because I do believe that all of creation is longing for restoration, and that what we see now is just a tainted version of what real reality will be like someday.
Isn't that amazing to think that when you stand over like the Grand Canyon, or out here in California, we have the beautiful Yosemite Valley. Isn't it so amazing to think that as absolutely stunning as that is, it's like needing to
That's
be redeemed?
that's the fallen version. Isn't that crazy?
It
Yeah.
is. I never really thought of that until right now.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, and you use some just incredible colors. I think you said one time, like, I don't ever really use brown or like
No,
the color of the earth. You use
I,
lots
I don't
of
I
purple.
don't think I've ever used brown or black in a painting. And I'm a landscape artist, so I paint a lot of rocks and a lot of trees and a lot of dirt. But I think it's more fun to create something that maybe looks like brown from far away, but when you get close, you see that it's made of all the colors.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I just love looking at your work too.
Thank you.
Um, what are some other ways? I think you mentioned it a little bit, like you teach art and you have painting parties, but what are some other ways that you have found valuable as how are you inviting other people to connect with God through art or through even your art?
Uh, that has been such a fun surprise for me. That art has really been the doorway into people's hearts. And I think the primary job of an artist is to see and to teach people to look at creation, to see themselves as made in the image of God, to kind of experience childlikeness again. I think that when Jesus says, come, be like children, we go immediately to, oh, we need to be dependent, we need to be needy, but we forget that we need to be imaginative. And and so I think to help people to recapture their imaginations is a big part of helping them to understand what it is to be made in the image of God. I think art is a great place to learn about mistakes and forgiveness and erasers and painting over and restoring and risk and there's so many things that you can learn. Yes, when you create something from nothing, you are imaging the creator.
Mm.
If God introduced himself to us first in the scriptures as the creator, then any time that we make something out of nothing, whether it is a painting or a casserole or a spreadsheet, we are imaging this creator God. And so I just feel like I have 100 opportunities every time I help somebody hold a paintbrush or brush a stroke of pastel to experience a little bit of that creator in us.
I just love how you described that, how art is us entering that childlike state, but tapping into the imagination, which I believe is a total gift from God. And I know people use it in so many ways. And you just said that, like making a spreadsheet or like making a casserole, which I just did earlier, or doing something artsy fartsy, which I love. How tacky is it if I run over to my nightstand to show my favorite painting? Maybe I'll just show a picture of it later. But like when you did that group, you walked us through the Bible story about the scapegoat, and we all painted
Mhm.
goats. And I have like little Elmer by the side of my bed, and because that's exactly what he looks like as an Elmer. I'll have to show it, but it's so fun. Just how you not only taught the art, but you taught a truth. And
I
so
love to do that.
yes, yeah, and you're so good at it. I mean,
Thanks.
I'm not just saying that, it's totally true. Where can people find you? Like, where can they find you and get access to maybe painting things or some of your art for their own home to ponder and look at and appreciate?
Well, I have a fledgling website up called very easily kelseyburkeart.com.
Okay.
And on there, you can see my original work. You can see commissions I've created for other people. You can see prints that you can order. You can sign up for art classes, maybe a couple of other things. It's a work in progress, but it works.
Yeah,
It'll do. I'm also on Instagram at Kelsey Burke Created, but there's an underscore between the two words.
we'll link all.
And and I'm on Facebook at Kelsey Burke Created as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
taking some time to tell us a little bit about art and how that helps you and others connect with God. And I just so appreciate you and your friendship. And I love that more of my friends now are going to get to know who you
I
are.
love it too. Thanks for having me. It's super fun.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, all the information is going to be linked below in the comments where you can find Kelsey. I highly recommend it for painting parties. I did one with my sisters. We had a blast. We've done several at church with the women there. It's just a total joy, and it's joy to be with Kelsey. So I hope you go and check her out. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.